This video is not overdue, it's only been like a year. Welcome, you want to make your very own Risk of Rain mod? Me too, that's why we're both here. But first of all, let me just get some things straight. I am not experienced enough to teach you C# or any major concepts in object-oriented programming, so I would highly recommend you go and watch this first, or, go like play with Python. You don't have to. You can just stay here if you want. You can try and brute force your way through. I'm not going to tell you what to do. So what we're going to do in this tutorial here is I'm going to guide you through the very basic setup. We're going to install the software we need. We're going to make our own very simple custom mod that does something in response to a game interaction. And then in future parts, I'm going to build upon that. We're going to use more Unity concepts, more C# concepts to build a more complex mod. So, first of all, software. What do we need? We need Risk of Rain 2. If you've gotten this far and you don't have Risk of Rain 2, I'm very impressed. We just need Steam, get Risk of Rain 2, make sure you've got that. If you don't, you're in a little bit of trouble to get that. Second up, we need to be able to code the mod. So hop on down to Visual Studio, free download here, it'll install that for you, boot that up. Around this file you'll eventually see a page like this. Make sure you tick .NET desktop development and then install while downloading or whatever options you have. Second thing, we need a way to read the game code, to know where we want to put anything. What are we going to change? To do that, we're going to need a .NET decompiler, and there are two main options. You've got ilspy or dnspy. We're going to use ilspy because dnspy is bad, trust me. dnspy is good for some things, but decompilation quality is not really one of them. So we're going to get ilspy, and I'm going to show you how to use that. You'll get to this page. It looks very scary because it's a GitHub page. Where's the download button? It's down here. Get one of these. Get any of these. Go grab the exe. Let's get Risk of Rain 2's code open. You're going to need the game installed for this, so File, Open. Go to wherever your Steam install is, wherever Risk of Rain is specifically. So typically it's in Steam Apps, Common, Risk of Rain 2, and then from here you'll go Risk of Rain 2 Data, Managed, and then you need to find RoR2.dll. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so that's open. This is all of the game's code. We're going to need this very shortly. One of the final main things we're going to need in terms of software is just the actual mod project, and so there's a very nice and convenient boilerplate here. What this boilerplate does is just a template for a mod. You can run it to test if you can build the mod and import it into your profile. You can download with GitHub, you can download the zip. Let's just download the zip if you don't want to open that can of worms. I would recommend you eventually open the can of worms that is using GitHub. Did I say that was the last thing? Because I lied if I did. Actually, the last thing is the mod manager. I imagine you have that by now, but if you don't, go download R2 Modman, go download Gale. You'll get here, you'll just manual download. So we have all of the necessary software by now. Where do we start? Let's just get the code project open. So from your boilerplate mod that you downloaded, just go in there, open the .sln file, and we're going to want to make sure actually that all the dependencies are up to date. So project, manage new git packages, then include pre-release on installed, package source, I think all. We're looking to update mmhook and Risk of Rain 2 game libs if they need updating, and any of the R2 API submodules. So this one needs updating. I don't know if it'll work. It sure won't. Okay. So what I like to do then, and it's a little bit crooked and a little bit weird, I probably shouldn't do it, but I do, and you could do it too, just don't tell anyone who told you to do it, is you go into here, go to the csproj file, and you just manually change the version to whatever is the latest version. So in this case, we can see it's 1.4.1 R0. Save, and that error will go away because it'll download the latest version. For hook, we need 11.19. Save, that should go away too. Okay, we're up to date. So what this boilerplate mod does is it creates a new item that gives you a chance to cloak on kill, and you can press F2 to spawn it in to test if it's working. So we're gonna go build solution. That's gonna create the mod file that we're going to import into the game, and that is in your plugin directory. It's in the bin debug net standard 2.1 and then this DLL here. So let's import that locally into R2 modman. Get a new profile, just call it whatever. Download a R2 API first and foremost, otherwise things will probably just not work. And then for debugging, let's also download debug toolkit, and let's get runtime inspector. There are alternatives, but I'd use this one, so there you go. Won't need this just yet. Might not even need it in this video. We won't, but we're gonna download that for the future. Just get those two. And then to import our mod, we go settings, profile, import local mod, and then get the DLL file. Conveniently, I'm just here, but just navigate to it, import local mod, and then start modded. And then just wait for the game to boot up. If you have the console open, it'll look something like this. You probably want to switch it to this, so eventually we'll be able to debug our mods. Let's just hop into a run. So if we imported the mod correctly, if we press F2 on the keyboard, we should spawn in an item. And we do. We also open the menu. And let's see if it's working. If I cloak on kill, I do. I think there's a chance. So kill a few enemies if you don't get it first time, but I mean if you got the item spawning in, you're fine, right? So I'm gonna clean this up. I'm just going to get rid of all the comments. You could keep them around if you find them to be useful. Okay, basically this is just now a completely empty plugin. This mod does nothing. First things first, let's just customize the name. So the namespace, I'm going to call this, I have an idea for a mod to expand upon. Essentially what I'm going to be doing is adding shrine indicators above shrines of chance whenever you use them. So we'll just call it extra indicators, at least for now, and then we'll change the name of the plugin, the main plugin class, to that as well. And then we're going to update the plugin author and plugin name. You should definitely do this, otherwise the GUID will not be unique. It will just be an ID. So put in a username, put in a plugin name, there you go. Now it's very unique. It shouldn't conflict with anything, ever. Unless you decide to use the same name and author. So that would be very sad. Please don't do that. You can. It'll end badly, but you can. So I'm going to now explain the first and most basic concept you'll come across when you're modding, which is an on hook. So, courtesy of Monomod, it's very easy to add some code before or after a method in the game, where a method is just a specialized chunk of code. For example, this is an awake method. What I'm going to start out doing is I'm going to make a log message appear every time I interact with a shrine, and that's the only goal for this first tutorial. I was initially gonna make half of the mod, but I thought that's a little out of scope. You're gonna be dead confused. So let's work our way up there. So let's just make a method that logs private void. If you don't know what this means, then go watch a C# tutorial. Every concept you see that you don't understand, just pause to look it up. I'm going to call this method just a log on shrine. That's all it's going to do for now. and we're going to log.info, which is just using this log, and then let's just say use shrine. Now this won't actually work because we're not actually doing anything. We have not set up a hook. This is just a method that we'd have to manually call. If we did log on shrine in here, when the mod gets loaded, because this will get loaded automatically, and awake is a Unity method, so it's going to create the logger and it's going to call this method, which then says use shrine, but not when we use the shrine, but when the mod is first loaded. Not useful, so let's not call it there. Let's set up a hook. So we're going to want to add some arguments. But what arguments do we want to add? If we want to get the one where we interact with a shrine of chance, well, what would that even be? So let's take a look at the code, let's find it. So where is it? In all of these namespaces, all of these methods, where is it? Let's Control-Shift-F to just search for it instead. Shrine of, no results, okay. Chance. Anything in here? Make this a bit bigger. Shrine chance behavior. That sounds promising. Let's go there, double click. Okay. Take a look at the methods. What have we got to work with? Add shrine stack. That sounds useful. Let's have a little peek inside. If you can't read this, don't worry. This almost definitely, I say almost definitely, as if I don't know this is the right method. This is the right method. I don't know where to squeeze this in, but if you're trying to find where something's used in the code, so later on I'm going to be interested in the symbol transform, which is just the location of a symbol almost. You can right click, analyze, and then you can see where it's assigned. It's not assigned anywhere because it's been set up in Unity by the developers. You can see where it's red, and it's only red in add shrine stack, and you can then see in what context it's being referenced. So if we just Control F, symbol transform, that's not how you spell transform, but I found it. It's just setting the game object to be not active in this case. So that'll be something will be very useful later. Do bear this in mind if you're trying to dig around in the files. It's one of the single most useful features you'll be using. But okay, we found the method. It's in shrine chance behavior. It is add shrine stack. So where is this exactly in the namespace? It's in risk of rain 2 or RoR2, and then it's just immediately shrine chance behavior, and the method is called add shrine stack. Okay, the first argument type inside of our method is on dot RoR2 dot shrine chance behavior dot, and then it's the method name but with orig before it, meaning original, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but it would make sense. Orig underscore add shrine stack, and we're gonna call that orig. That's the original method. Now, if it's an instance method, so if it's not like this, if it's not private static void, or let's take a look, right? Add shrine stack, it does not have static, so this method is called per instance. So we are then going to put shrine chance behavior, and then if you see this pop up, this is a good time to mention this. Don't just press enter to autocomplete, because these are all from different namespaces. We want to go to just this one, RoR2. This is the actual shrine chance behavior from the code we just looked at. These are to do with hooks, so make sure you choose RoR2. And that we're going to call the self. That's just the reference to the instance calling the method. And then are there any other arguments? This is where you'd put them. So we've got just one, interactor with name activator. You can call it anything, but I'm going to use the same name. There you go. That's ready to subscribe to Monomod's event. But never forget this. You'll be confused why everything's breaking if you don't do this. Call the original method. We're going to need self if you have an instance, and every other argument. If you don't do this, it'll just break for every other mod that tries to hook onto this method. You don't want to do that. You'll just cause problems for yourself, for everyone else. If you're purposefully trying to skip execution, there are better ways to do it. Don't do this. So we're one step away from this working actually. So all we need to do is subscribe it. So in Awake, when the mod is first made, let's go kind of like before. We go on.riskofrain2.shrine chance behavior, and then this time without the orange, just add shrine stack plus equals our method name. So log on shrine. And save that. Let's build it. Let's import it again. Same process. If it's the same name, it'll just overwrite it. I'm going to use Debug Toolkit now to make my life a bit easier. So I'm going to press the grave key. It looks like this. In my case, it's on the top left of my keyboard. Is that the standard? I don't know. I'm going to press that. I'm going to type no_enemies. And I'm just going to hop in. So I won't get harassed once I'm trying to buy a shrine. And then there's one over there. But what I can do is open that again, spawn_interactable. Every time you press I, that's gonna open. Just close that. Shrine chance is their name internally. Press enter. There it is. And then give us some money so we can interact with it. And then let's see if when we press E, if we're going to get a message in the log on the right. There you go. Use shrine. So that works. So from here, you can pretty much make some very simple tweak mods. So if we take a look at shrine chance behavior, let's just do a very quick example of failure chance. So for a very simple tweak mod, let's just say self.failure chance equals 0. You cannot fail. Or it'll be easier to demonstrate if we can always fail. That'll be a very nice simple tweak that we can see. So let's just import that and let's get back to you once it's imported and we're in game. Alright, here I am. I have a lot of money. I have a shrine of chance and a dream. But unfortunately for me, shrines are now impossible to purchase. So that is your first Risk of Rain mod, and it's only downhill from here, because you're modding Risk of Rain. That's rough, buddy. I'm really sorry. If you want to experience this downfall with me, then keep watching these tutorials, of which maybe there's one to watch right now. If you want to keep modding, if you want to expand, you want to learn about IL hooks, you want to learn about how to put images in. Look at this cool cat image. I'm going to put that in at some point.